And from then on, there was one supervisor at the place I used to work at the time, Masters Upholstery. He heard me singing one day and said, well, you know, so I have to go introduce you to a producer. And one day he brought a man, Mr. Homer Harris. Came to the workshop and I met him and he said, well, I hear you have talent wasted and I want to make use of it. And so must make some audition, must make some copies of songs and bring to him. And I did some demos and them time we had a double deck tape.
All right.
So I put the rhythm in one tape.
One tape.
And put the blank one on
the
and
other
just sing through the whenever little Mike came with a mic and we just sing through it and record straight. Bring it to him and say, wait, you do great, you know. But from then on, I think started building, and then even during those days, I was still in the church.
All right.
And my brother, at that time when I went to Kingston, I stayed with my brother in Central Village. And I was going to church, and, you know, for some time, I used to do like gospel concerts and, you know, so, but they never used to pay me. No matter how much I sing, I'm still out and steal the show, mash up the place, bless up the place, and people are giving me an encore and money come up, money pull up. And we go to the elder and I say, elder, concert was singing. Because to them was reggae music was like devil music.
True.
So I was there one day and I decided to go settle down, put out a gospel CD and just try and take the church thing serious. That was every day. They read me out of the church.
Huh?
Then tell me, say, me have to come on. They read me out of the church.
Why?
Shut up, boy. Because to them, I was a serious church man and me out for sing with what devil music and all this thing. So the same day them read me out and I said, boy, I'm going to go outside the church and he's have me tie and feel a piece of light. Burden come off of me, you know. And then we take it seriously from then on. I start writing.
You start writing.
I sing over some Dennis Brown and Bob Marley and things. But from then on, I start venture out and start go to dance hall. Because there was a sound system where I used to be in Central Village.
Right.
And after church sometime I go there and sing a rhythm or two.
Okay.
Until I was introduced to Ricky Trooper from Kilimanjaro song.
Okay.
I did a couple dubs for him and he played at a clash. The same night I did the dubs for him, he was clashing with Stone Love. So he carried me to this, he said, what you doing tonight? I'm not inside. And then as a country boy, well mannerable, you know. I said, all right, I want you to come to a dance. So I said, dance? We may do a dance. In my mind, I said, we may do a dance. I know, imagine. But anyhow, make up my mind and just put on one of my church suit. I went to the dance, you know, and at that time Stone Love was boasting with Ricky Trooper. Stone Love was boasting with Buju Banton as their new artist. That time Buju Banton was like the hot artist them time there.
True that.
And so Ricky Trooper said, you're boasting with your new artist. I have a new artist. Because I didn't get to tell you, the same man I met, Mr. Omar Harris, who came to the workshop,
right.
He suggested that I get a nice name, so he gave me the name Luciano.
Oh, it came from him?
Yes, he was the one who gave me the name Luciano.
All right.
So when Trooper said, yeah, boss with Buju Banton, well, I have my new singer named Luciano. Listeners, them time I did a dub plate for him. It was Through the Years on the Shanghai Shake with him. Can't remember when you were not there, when I didn't care for any sound but you. Gyro sound, you taught me all the doves I know. Can't imagine meeting a sound so. Through the years it proven to me, you ruled and sought for sure. Through the years, you never let me down. You turned and sought all around. The sweetest doves I've heard from you. I want to tell you that night, about 10 times Trooper have to wheel up the song. From. And then by this time, he introduced me, Trooper introduced me to Earl Hales from this big record store and studio in Afunguka.
All right.
And there I met Sky High from Mama production, and incidentally, mystically, the same Mama production. I was reading about the Mama warriors from right here in Kenya.
Kenya.
President Jomo Kenyatta
Yes.
was a leader of
Mau.
very serious history.
True that.
So I met with Sky High from the Mama
Mhm.
production, and I did some songs for him,
Uh-huh.
and I went to New Name. I met with Mr. Castro Brown. At that time, he was manager for Dennis Brown. So I started meeting some great people, and I met Freddie McGregor
Yes.
at New Name Studio. Then he gave me some rhythms, and I did Shake It Up Tonight.
Mhm.
So it's like the thing start build from there.
True that.
And then Shake It Up Tonight went big in the UK for about 8 weeks in the Black Echo charts.
Mhm.
And well, by this time there were sound system coming in from England, like Cubanegas and Saxon coming into Jamaica to cut dubs with me. So the thing was just building and building and building. Then when I heard about Exterminator label,
Mhm.
I'm just giving you a short synopsis of the whole thing, because I met
Yes,
with
yes.
Mikey General.
Uh-huh.
Mikey General is another virgin of mine, a singer from the years. He was singing with Exterminator from a long time.
True that.
So he told me about Exterminator label, and he said, want me meet Fatis, and he carried me to the studio, and the first song I did for Fatis was Chant Out. Again chant out every day, oh, teach the youths them to live upright. So from long time,
Mhm.
I really been focusing on the youths.
On the youth.
I am one of the artists who always believe say we have to be some form of inspiration for the youth.
True that.
And when I did, just said I as a messenger to teach the youths about roots and culture, because
Man.
if we don't have no youths, we don't have no future.
True that.
So, and the rest is history.
Exactly.
It was a little short synopsis of my own.
Ah, amazing.
It was a short. When other people fussing about life and killing up themselves, he was always cool and easy going. And he said, Jeff Tawa, and I said, yes, sir, yes, Mr. Levy. Respect, sir, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes him cook and him call me and say, I want a dumpling. I say, thank you, sir. You know, so he always showed me love. And I go with that respect for Rastafari. And then from time to time, I would meet like a bubble selling their broom. Normally, it's just these modern day bubbles that really deviate from the real tradition, because originally, the bubble shanty was a down-to-earth knowledge house. When you meet a bubble, it tell you every history where you can want or even imagine. So the Rasta is known for one who know themselves and always try to teach the youth and encourage us, you know, to stay away from gun violence and drugs and all these things, and to be more natural, connected to earth and, you know, to the divine spirit. But even growing up in the church, there was little or no knowledge about Africa. They never taught us much of our real roots. So it was really the Rasta man that really reminded us of our roots and kept us pointing us back to our roots.
No.
So even growing up into a big man now, I start dig deeper. And when I study certain things, even the Bible tells me about River Guyana or the River Nile that runs, you know, and it shows me the full groundation of I roots and telling us of Africa. Because normally you're in church and you hear about certain parts, you think that these places exist in a different world. Like in a heaven, them a place there, when you hear about Israel and Jerusalem and all them places, you don't really, when you hear about Egypt land, how Joseph was taken to Egypt in captivity and all these things, you feel like it's a different place.
Different place, different
But
world.
when you grow up now and really make the connection and start studying my history now and listen to the teachings of Marcus Garvey, because great Marcus, the Messiah, tell us to look to the east for the coming of a black king, and we start search to see this black king now, and we start read up, and the Bible tell me about the one who cometh with the name written up on his vesture, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and conquering land of the tribe of Judah, elect of Jah, his rightful ruler, the passion bearer, the defender of the faith. And I said, which faith? So it was a Christ-like faith, because His Majesty was the 225th Emperor of Ethiopia, and he was the only king where I come see crowned as King of Kings. So when I study the whole scope and the whole history, because I start studying his history deep now, because if you start singing, you can't just hold it because you have a nice voice and because you can dance. You have to have something, some substance.
True that.
To impart through your music. You take a trip to, you make a stop in Addis Ababa and take a next trip to Shashamane and driving on the King's Highway because you get so excited. I want to drive on the King's Highway. So when I went to Ethiopia, really take the trip to Shashamane and see the big sign say King's Highway, I said, God Almighty.
This is the place, man.
I did. So when you see the whole teachings of Rastafari, it's connected to the roots. And then even when I started singing certain songs like One Way Ticket, and I was still a baller. Head shine, man. I go walk out on stage and some Rasta man say, wait. It's like them happy for hear me and glad for see me, but them said disappointed because I said, it's a little ball head, brother.
Sing a big tune.
So I have to fix this, you know. Because even at one time a man said, wait, where your locks there? You sing some big song in the yard, but you need your locks, man. Where your antenna there? So I said, you know, mind, even though I try the plate off, and I say, yeah, man, I'm a Rasta in my heart, man. The man say, Rasta in your heart. Man, you tie up your heartstring, yeah? So I said, what this man said to me, man? And I did a song with Louis Culture. I don't know if you...
Yes.
I did a song, I'm a real Rasta man. Because I say, they ask me where me not today, but I'm a real Rasta man. I'm a true Rasta man. Trading creation. Real Rasta man, I'm no giant bandwagon. Real Rasta man, I'm in love with that.
Hey.
And then him do him thing, and but at the end of the day, even though you try to compromise and rationalize the whole fact that fact say, you know, grow your locks, but he's a Rasta. No, it come to the fulfillment in my whole being that, because each time you cut your hair, you find out say it grow back. So I say, why should I be fighting what Jah doing? Because Jah is growing my hair. Why should I try to cut it? Jah? So I just let go and make my hair grow. Someone say, come like when I cut my hair, I fight Jah. So I saw my hair now start let out and I start going, and honestly, Shatta boy, I have to tell you this.
Yes.
I'm persecuted.
Yes.
You see when I start grow my locks?
Yes.
So different inspiration fire.
It's the antenna.
And the antenna.
It's the antenna.
Look at the antenna, yeah. The antenna go up.
Go up.
I want there, man. I start get some divine inspiration. Even deeper now, I say, wait, that's how you think go. Because, you know, if you even buy a phone, you know, phone have antenna, you know.
True.
Even if you might not see it, it's an inbuilt.
With a radio.
Yeah,
and an antenna.
Inside it. Radio and everything need antenna. Even the vehicle you might not see.
Yes.
First time you used to have, there used to be the